Okay, so you can see I've got the basic outline of the plan, and I mean very basic, but that is still enough for me to maybe even start drawing my section in a moment. But before I do that, I want to at least draw a couple of the windows, and maybe I'll do the sliding doors at the same time because they are, as some of you are saying, quite similar to the windows. But I'll start with the window, and there's really nothing to them. If you're drawing them in a basic sort of diagrammatic way, like you can see this one is here. So you might remember with doors, the convention is to draw the door jambs 40mm across. With windows, the convention is that you make them 50mm. So as long as you know that, and then also the width of the window, you shouldn't have any problem drawing them. You can see here we don't have a dimension for that window, so I'm just going to eyeball it, and I'll show you it's really easy to adjust the size of the window after you've drawn it anyway. So I'm going to set out the opening first, and you still should do this just the same as you do when you're drawing a door. So I'm going to simply draw a line from the corner of the wall here down to the outside of that exterior wall. And then I could offset that line across, but just to save me a step, I'm going to move the line across instead just by selecting the line first. Then I'm going to click the Move button. I'm going to click a point as my base point, move the cursor to the right with ortho on, so you can see it's snapping to 0 degrees, and I'm going to take that across 150. Total guess. I might need to change that, but at least that's a round number. And now, looking at that drawing there, I'm going to guess if the room is 2.8 metres across, that window would maybe be around 1.5 metres, maybe a little bit more, but I'll start with that. So I'm going to offset now 1500, and I'll just select that line and click to the right. Okay, so it may be a little bit small, but I can easily make it bigger afterwards. So I want to show that as well. Okay, so now what I need to do is trim that opening. So using the trim tool, remember you can press enter to make everything a cutting edge, and then I can simply select the lines I want to trim. And that's really important. You do make an opening by cutting the lines in your wall so that you can have new lines for the windowsill, because they'll need to be a different line weight. So now I'm going to see if I have a layer for my windows. I don't, so I'm going to go into Layer Properties and make a new layer and call it A Window, Cut. And then I'm going to make another layer called A Window PROJ. So do you know what PROJ stands for usually in a layer name? PROJ? It could, but it actually stands for projection. So you'll see quite often when you're making layers, you'll end up with two layers for the same thing. So I've got a layer here for the window when it's cut, another layer for the window when it's in projection. And so I'm going to make the colours anything I like. I'm assuming they're timber, and so normally yellow is the colour for timber. I've just made them different shades of yellow, really. And then Remember, it's all going to print black and white anyway, or print black, so you don't need to print these colours. And then the line weight is the most important thing. So here I'm going to set the line weight for the window cut to 0.35 and the line weight for the window projection to 0.15. Okay, and then I need one more thing in my window. So I'm making another layer. Just going to call it Glaze. Okay, so this will be the glazing for all of my windows, but also doors. And I'm going to make that a cyan colour. And then, again, the line weight, I'm going to make heavy, and I'm going to try and make it a little bit heavier than the window frame. I'm going to try to make it 0.4, just because glass should be a little bit heavier than other things when it's being cut. And for that one, I'm not worrying about labelling it with cut. It is a layer that is for cut elements, but you wouldn't need a layer for glass when it's in projection. So it's assumed when you have a layer for glazing that it's for glass that's being cut. So there are all the layers on here for my window, so I'm just going to maybe make the window cut layer current. Double clicking at the end there, and then I can close this. And going to draw a line from the corner across 50mm, nothing to it, and then down, so we know the window, so the wall thickness is 290, and then back across. Really simple. And I might just do the same thing on the other side. I could use mirror, but just to make it easy, I'll just draw it again with the line tool. Because now I want to change to the window projection layer and draw some lines now connecting those two window jambs. And you can see hopefully they are different colours. I'm actually going to go and change my wall colour just so that it stands out a bit more. My wall colour is a bit too similar to the window colour. So I'm going to make it more of a reddy colour. There we are. So again, you can start to see the difference in the object's layers because of the colours. But now I'm going to turn on the line weight, which you can see down the bottom. There's a button that looks like some different line weights, or lines with some different line weights. So if you click on that, then you should be able to see the line weights as you work with them. And hopefully then it becomes a bit clearer which things are being cut and which things aren't. Now, my window's coming up with the heavy lines. I'm just going to check. I think my wall layer is maybe a bit light. Oh yes, I haven't set my wall. That wall layer should be 0.35 at least as well. That's better. Sorry?
The wall, sorry?
Just the wall, like the layer you've used to make your for your walls.
0.25?
0.35. Yep. Okay, so hopefully when you can see the line weights, it becomes a lot clearer which things are being cut and why you need different layers for these lines. So now all I'm going to do is go to my glazing layer and draw a line from the midpoint of the jamb to the midpoint on the other side. And hopefully then you can see that having the heavier line weight for the glass makes it read as a thicker element that's being cut. That's it. For symbolic or diagrammatic windows, in other words, a window where you're not showing all of the construction, that's all you need. So that's all you need to draw at first for this project. And because your windows are often going to be different sizes, you don't really need to make a block. And if you need to adjust the size, the easiest way is then just to use the stretch command. So that's the last thing I'll just show you here. If you click on stretch, and so in this case, I might want to extend it to the right. So you need to remember when you use stretch that you should always do a crossing window, and that simply means right to left. So click a point on the right of the things you want to select and cross over them by going to the left from that point. And as a reminder, it should be a green window, not blue. If it's blue, you're going the wrong way. So as long as you see a green window going over the points that you need to stretch. So I've gone over all of the endpoints there that I want moved. I'm going to click. Press enter to finish selecting. Then I just need to click a base point like you do when you're using move or copy. Move the cursor in the direction you want it to go, and then type in distance. So it's be 300. So I'm going to make it become 1800. And there we are, it's that easy. Obviously, it's fairly easy to just draw all of that again if you need another one, but it will definitely help you in some situations to be able to copy that. So the process you should use when you want to copy is to, again, just follow the same process to set it out. So you should always use this process, set the opening out first. So I'm going to draw a line here, maybe from the corner of this this room, which is obviously going to have a window there above WC. So I'm going to assume that distance there is, again, about 150. So I'm going to move this line across using the move tool, just like I did before. And then I'll offset. I'll make it the same size, so 1500. And then I can trim, just like I did before. And so that way I've got the opening set out first. And that's the way you should do all your windows. Set the openings out first, and then with any luck you can just come back and copy the joinery, in other words the window frame and everything else that goes with your window. Copy that across using the corner of the wall as your base point. And then you can snap that onto the corner of any opening you've set out. And if you need to make the window smaller, again you can use stretch. So I'm just going to do a crossing over these points. Doesn't matter that I've gone over this line from the wall because I haven't gone over the corner. So that line won't be affected. So I'm just going to press enter to finish selecting, click my base point, and then again take it over to the corner of my wall, and that should then fit exactly. Okay, so the important thing there is that you, again, set out the opening first in your wall, so cut the hole in your wall first, and then make sure you do set the layers up as you make your lines for your window, because then when you copy them, obviously the layers are all going to be done and you don't have to go and do the layers for lots of different things. So I'll give you some time anyway just to get some windows done, and you can use a similar approach to do the doors, but I might just quickly afterwards show you how to show you some tricks that might help you to do sliding doors particularly. So these ones here, there are a couple of little tricks I can show you before we do the section.